From the beginning of society, mankind has been plagued by con men selling bogus and dangerous cure-all potions, running dubious booths at carnivals, and preaching out of backs of wagons. Their scams would often involve a line of memorized patter, and shills planted in the crowd to generate excitement and sales. Back in those days, people knew how to deal with these scam artists. Offenders would sometimes be covered in hot melted tar and then doused in feathers. So the con men became more sophisticated with their scam by adding Bibles to their accessories. The wandering preacher enjoyed a greater level of protection due to the naive popular attitude towards the religious as consistently good people. In modern times, the con games haven't changed much, but the tar and feathers are no longer used as a deterrent, and the cons have become more elaborate. Let's look at Scientology. Free stress test table. The stress test can be found at county fairs, street scenes, public festivals, and alternative health fairs. This elaborate display is the stress test setup for the Church of Scientology. The goal of this whole thing is to sell copies of Dianetics, one of the cornerstones of Scientology's doctrine. There are three key elements for the stress test racket: the emeter, the patter card, and the book. Dianetics makes some remarkable medical claims regarding the ability to cure serious disease and mental illness. A broken limb will heal in 2 instead of 6 weeks. I've seen a goiter the size of a baseball visibly shrink and disappear in the space of 1/2 hour right after an engram was run. A girl crippled by polio was able to throw away her crutches after my first session. The emeter is a simple skin galvanometer. It measures skin resistance. Sweaty hands reduces resistance and the needle moves. When the needle moves, the friendly Scientologist will interpret it for you. As L. Ron Hubbard's movement grew, the FDA became concerned that Scientologists were using the e-meter as a medical device. Offices were raided and the e-meters were taken away. In 1971, the FDA passed the following regulation regarding use or misuse of the e-meter. The e-meter is a device which has been condemned by the order of federal court for misrepresentation and misbranding in violation of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. Use of the e-meter is permitted only as part of a bona fide religious activity. The e-meter is not medically or scientifically useful for the diagnosis, treatment, or prevention of a disease. It is not medically or scientifically capable of improving the health or body functions of anyone. Any person using, selling, or distributing the e-meter is forbidden by law to represent, state, or imply that the e-meter is useful in the diagnosis, treatment, or prevention of any disease. The FDA also required the group to place a sticker on every e-meter produced. It is supposed to be posted prominently where it is easily visible. It is criminal for the cult to claim the e-meter can help diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Now here's how this works. I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to say anything, and we're going to find out what is causing you the most stress. When this needle goes to the right, that shows stress, okay?
Every good con has a line of patter, memorized and delivered in such a way that the mark thinks it's all about them. It's not. It's a prefabricated presentation designed to lead you up to the purchase of their book. These are the actual patter cards, liberated from an abandoned stress test table.
Now here's how this works. I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to say anything, and we're going to find out what is causing you the most stress. When this needle goes to the right, that shows stress, okay?
Okay.
Now that the needle's settled down, you see it's not moving as much. So I'm going to ask you to do something, and when I do, you can watch this needle, and if it goes down to the right, we know there's some stress.
All right. Think about different people and situations in your life. Yeah, something you thought of there?
I want you to think about different people and situations in your life.
Well, it's creeping up a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, but it is moving, so there is some stress there with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so honestly, though, I didn't see anywhere near the amount of stress that I saw in a situation with your brother. So.
Well, yeah, I guess I could use one. What's the machine there?
We call that an e-meter, and it measures stress.
Okay.
It tells you if stressed or not. So you you've heard about the meter before.
Well, I've seen it, you know. I was wondering what it does.
It measures. Often what it does is it moves even before you can actually conceive of what you thought. It registers that you had a thought, even if you don't know what the thought is right away.
Wow.
And that's what we see is the energy is changed when you have a thought, and that's what's registered.
So, but here's the thing, like that kind of conflict, it's the classic kind of thing that happens when people react instead of communicating, right? And that's what this book is about, is the reactive mind, right?
So what you're saying is if I have a stomach problem, it's really a brain problem?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it is your reactive mind.
Reactive mind.
That is causing you to have that negativity affect you.
Can you figure out, like, diagnose if it's a stomach problem or a mental problem? Can you find out really what's causing it with the meter?
Yes, we could.
Well, this is a personal thing, but some people have told me I'm what's called bipolar, or I get highs and lows, and can this help me figure out if I'm really bipolar or not?
Yeah.
So you can diagnose. I don't know that I am, but and what about Prozac? You know, if I'm in Prozac, should I stop Prozac if I'm going to be on this, or what?
Yeah.
He stabbed his mom approximately 77 times. He suffered from the most serious mental disease of paranoid schizophrenia.
New York woman Ellie Perkins was stabbed to death by her son Jeremy in 2003. Like the parents of the Sydney woman accused of stabbing her family here, they too were Scientologists. They too believed that psychiatry is evil.
Ellie never took Jeremy to a psychiatrist, as far as I'm aware. It's against the teaching of their faith.
Psychiatry is a pseudoscience. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Since there's no such thing as mental illness, there's no such thing as a medicine for mental illness.
A man and his daughter are dead. The accused murderer, another daughter, believed to have come off medication for her mental illness because the parents are Scientologists.
Dianetics and stress test tables are gateways to the world of Scientology. Their presentation violates federal law in its current form. If they are allowed to continue promoting Dianetics, their presentation must be changed to abide by current laws. They must discard the e-meter, stop giving dangerous medical advice, and remove bogus claims of curative properties from their book. Until this booth complies with the law, they should not be permitted to participate in public events where the public might be misled by their extravagant claims.
Thank you.